So here we have 184 through 188, still talking about Fama, still discussing how horrible she is and how wide-reaching she is. And what we have here is at night, she flies in between or in the middle of the sky and of the land, in the middle of heaven and earth, and through the shade, through the shadows, shrieking, hissing, and she doesn't lower her eyes in sweet sleep. At light or by day, she sits as a guardian, either on the peak of the highest roof or on lofty towers, and she terrifies the great cities. So tenacious a messenger of fiction and depravity, or depraved fiction, as a messenger of truth. So we have a lot of parallelism here and a lot of the same structure repeated again and again. Here we have, I think, just worth noting, medius usually, even though in English we say in the middle of, and so we have that of there denoting that what we would call the genitive case in Latin. Latin medius aum usually agrees with whatever we're in the middle of. So if we're in the middle of the sky, it would be Kylo medio. We're here, and of course it's very appropriate that medio is in between Kylie and Terai. Here it's agreeing with two separate words, each with its own gender, right? Kylum is neuter, Terai is feminine. So we have different endings, and here we have an example, a rare example where medio takes on its own case with the two genitives following it. So in the middle of heaven and earth. And then per umbram, through the shade, through the shadows, and then street ends there, the enjambment, just the sound that it's making. It never sleeps, and it does not declinat its lumina, its eyes, its lights. And then nocte up there, but luce down here in a parallel structure. Up here it was flying, here it's sitting, and it sits as a custos. And then we have the parallel structure that we see out summi culmine tecti, turbis out altis, et magnas terratat urbes. And I think it's important to note terratat. We know terreo, to terrify, to frighten. Terratat is what's called the frequentative version of that verb. And what that means is that Latin had some verbs that, although it doesn't come well into English, or at least into English really in our translations usually, the frequentatives hinted at the idea that the action happens again and again and again. And that's what we're saying here, is that again and again and again, she terrifies these great cities. Down here we have the tom quam, the correlative, so as blank as, and so she is as fierce and messenger of facti pravi. A good example, I think, of hendiades here. We can say of fiction and of depravity, but probably what we mean is depraved fiction, depraved falsehood, as she is a messenger of truth.